So whatever the things that you have already scheduled, right? Those are the things that you will be able to see here, guys. Apart from that, you don't see anything else here. Let's say this is a job. And after completion of the job, whether you are interested in running the one that you are currently scheduling immediately, after couple of hours or couple of minutes, it's up to you guys. Let's say if you are interested in scheduling it as a recurring job, you don't need to keep any dependency with any other job or data exchange. You want to schedule this as an independent thing which is going to run at a frequent intervals of time daily at the prescribed time of like 1 a.m. Then you can go ahead and select this, and from which date to which date it should run. Daily at 1 a.m. it is running, yes, but when it should start, whether it should start from today or when it start from next week or next month, till what time it should, till what date it should run, at the end of this year or end of 2016, like that you have to mention here. Let's say you are going to run that and so who are the parties that are interested in knowing the status of this particular job or notifications from this particular job? You can go ahead and configure their email IDs, guys. Let's say you can see send email whenever the job starts. You can select, you are going to configure this in this file format. The important thing is like you have to agree on a FTP server and you have to agree on a directory, guys. So once you are done that, you just need to submit this particular. There is a create option here. You can see here.
How do we set up
yeah. How do we?
I have a doubt. So how do we set up a batch job? How do you set up if a batch job is runs twice a day?
No, that is going to be like you have to schedule it in two different batch jobs, guys. One thing is not going to be possible. Like say you are scheduling one job here, right? You have to schedule another job. You got my answer, Nirmal?
Yes, Raghu, got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Raghu, where I find the server access details?
Which these server access details?
Yes.
No, this is going to be based on your organization infrastructure, guys. Every organization has their own FTP servers, right? They will give you, like say if you ask your admin, IT admin, they will give you your FTP server details.
Okay.
It is nothing to do with success factors.
Raghu, do we have to do anything in the instance after
No,
putting the data in the provisioning system?
Nothing. We are not going to touch anything in your instance, guys. It is just exchanging the data between these two parties. That's it. You are going to schedule a job. That's it. Create job. If at all there are any errors, right? Yes, there are some errors because my date formats are wrong, guys, and the FTP server is not accessible.
And Raghu, on SAP HCM side, the basis consultant will take care of it.
On SAP HCM, scheduling the jobs is going to be taken care by SAP basis consultant. But if at all there are any requisite to write the programs on SAP HCM, right, that is going to be taken care by the ABAP consultant, guys. Yeah. It is
Raghu,
not.
just need to Raghu, just one question need to understand from you. After initially, after putting the job type, you went to instance, and I just missed that. What did you do? Just wanted to understand.
No. I just showed the file format where you are going to get the file format. You are going to get the file format here. Like say any object, if you go to the import of that particular object, right, you will be able to get a blank template file. That will help you. That template you can send it to the other system consultants so that they know like what data they are expecting in that particular file, and they will be prepared to handle that particular data on their system.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty simple, guys. Only thing is like you need to understand what data that you are sending, what is the frequency, and what are the FTP server details, guys. That's it.
Raghu, I think this is a job setup. Maybe the next step may be running the job, right? Like, can you capture like all of the screenshot? Okay, the job creation and scheduling.
No, this is what you are going to schedule also. And once you schedule it, right? Say on demand, you can go ahead and run them. Let me go back. I cannot save this because the FTP server details are not correct, guys. And say once you already set up this job, where you will be able to see all the jobs that has been scheduled is right. If you go to your manage jobs, one second, guys. Go to manage schedule jobs. You see, these are the things which are already scheduled in my system. Say, if you want to run that on demand, say if you have a requirement where you want to push the data immediately out of the system to the third party system, or if you want to immediately consume it, you can just go ahead and see it's here, run it now. There is an option. Yes, you can go ahead and run it now itself. Click on that. It will start processing the data, or it start pushing the data, whatever it may be, as per the job that has been configured in the right. Whenever you are trying to set up a new job, it will start processing. And once it start processing, where you will be able to find whether the job has been completed successfully, or the first thing like whether it has been kick-started at the time that we provided in the job or not. Where you will be able to find all those things, like you can see there is an option called as monitor jobs. Click on this monitor jobs, guys. You will see all the jobs that has been running in your system. And if at all they fail, what is the error code? And if you want to know more details about these things, you can just go ahead and click on detail, and it will show you what is the error in that. And if at all if you are supposed to raise any Jira tickets, you can see here. If at all it is a known issue, yes, the system will tell you that it's a known issue and people are working on that, and there is a Jira ticket here, and all the information with respect to the failure of that job, you will be able to find it here, guys.
So can you see the data title, what input file has been come?
Pardon, what it is?
Data file, like if we are importing an employee profile, right, and failed, I want to see why it failed, and I want to see what's the data has been extracted from the FTP server. It's like a FLAC file, if the CSV file, can we see it there?
No, the data you will not be able to see. The runtime data, right? You are talking about what data it is processing?
Yeah, like it failed, and we want to know why exactly it failed. And I want to see the file, whether the file has been sent correctly or not. So we see the file.
No, file you will not be able to see that, guys. No, but you will be able to, the name of the file, you are asking data, you will be able to get the name of the file in the email notification. Let's say you have configured the job and you have provided the administrator, like say group ID. That is where you are going to get. Yeah.
Maybe let me rephrase the question. I think maybe can we see the error log, like okay, the 100 rows are there, 10 rows are failed. So here, like we can click on that, see okay, row number 1, 2, 3, 4 failed due to this reason, like a error log, something like that.
No. It's not possible, guys. That sophisticated thing is not yet available in SuccessFactors.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more thing, Raghu, does it execute like 50 rows and then if the 51th is failed?
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Raghu,
Yeah.
it might possible that due to some master data correction, job got failed, or due to some correction is required in master data. So how could we know that this is because of master data?
No, you are going to receive an email notification, right, stating that the job has been failed because of this reason. So you have to troubleshoot your data, or say if some mandatory fields are missing. So you have to populate that mandatory data in the file, and then you have to push it again.
Okay.
Yeah, whether it is like a manual push or it is going to be next schedule, it will take care of that. But the data correction, you have to take care, like the correct data is there in your system.
Thanks, Raghu.
Yeah.
Raghu, in this case, is it, I mean, anywhere MFT use is also possible? MFT for file transfer. Just asking.
I'm not getting your question, Kavita.
Is it metadata framework?
No. See, metadata framework, see, it's
No, I'm talking about MFT, which is used for file transfer. Just for file transfer, it's used by XI normally.
No,
So
no.
this
Here,
asking whether
no, no, no. I'm not even aware about that, Kavita. But here,
okay.
there is nothing like a concept of your middleware or nothing. It is just a flat file that you are going to
Okay.
exchange the data. That's it. No conversions, nothing.
But this is in case when we are using third party as SAP. What if third party is not SAP? Then also we are simply going to use the server detail as FTP detail, is it?
No, no. Even the other system is not SAP system, right? They should be prepared to consume this file, or they should be prepared to push their data into CSV files.
Okay, so from success factor side, the modalities are going to be same, whatever is the third party system.
Yes, yes,
Right?
yeah.
Okay, okay.
This is going to be like a pretty simple CSV file format only, guys. Say if you are interested in exchanging the data in any other file format, or if you are interested in exchanging the data in real time, and if you are interested in doing some transformations in the data or filtering the data, those kind of things then you have to depend on the middleware tools, whatever the middleware tools that I just spoke about, right? You can choose one among them. Moreover, like they are all going to provide similar kind of functionality. Might be depending, like it might depend, like some needs some coding, some other tool doesn't need any coding. Everything is going to be through configuration and their license costs. But you have to depend, such kind of requirements are going to be accomplished only by the middleware tools, guys.
So Raghu, are you going to talk about the APIs whether in this class or any future classes?
No, APIs, I'll give you the details. I'm going to say what kind of APIs, your OData APIs, right? Basically to exchange all your employee details. I'll talk about the different types of APIs available in the system, what kind of detail they are going to provide you.
So if you want to add anything in the API, so is that automatically added over there?
Yes, yes.
while you
That's
add it in
the advantage of your success factor. So whenever you are going to enhance the object, that is going to be automatically added to your API interface as well. Is it Nirmal? Srini?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Raghu, in starting you told us that we have to set up a add-on configuration on HCM side. So are you going to tell us how we are going to configure the add-on?
No, that is setting up your add-on is going to be done by the basis consultant.
Okay, so we don't need to do anything on SAP HCM side.
No. You should be aware of like what are the program names that you should run. Say if you want to consume the employee data, what is the program that you should run? That you need to be aware. That is going to be available in the SF integration add-on documentation first name.
Okay, thanks. Raghu. Could you please?
I'll send that to you. Yeah, no worries. I'll send that to you. Yeah. Okay. Coming back to here.
Raghu, in a
Raghu,
real time
do the create
scenario,
job.
how often this is required, to export import data?
See, it all depends on your client, Shweta. Let me tell you. Say if your organization is very small organization with like say 100 people in the organization, so you don't need frequent refresh of this data between or exchange of this data between two systems, because obviously 100 employees there won't be much changes. And if you are going to exchange the data between these two systems weekly once, that should be good enough. But say if your organization is very big and it was spread across the globe, and there might be changes, additions of new employees or deletion of existing employees, and changes to the employees' existing data is going to be very frequent, right? Obviously, you need to refresh your data at least twice a day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a rationalized kind of thing. You don't like it all depends on the client requirement. Yeah.
Raghu, when you do the create new job on that page,
Yeah.
and when you fill everything up, where is the button for saving it? Because I didn't see that on the
It's a create
screen.
job. It's a create job. It's nothing. There is no save
a
option. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me show you what is the button over there. You see here, there is an option to create job.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. All right, got it.
Yeah, here, under that. Yeah. Okay, coming back to that, guys, and with respect to, you can see here, we are seeing the different job roles, right? So whenever you are going to add a new user, we have seen like where from the job roles are coming, all those things we have seen. So really where you are going to configure the different job roles, and say even where you are going to assign the required competencies. Like in any organization, guys, in fact, let's say if you are using your compensation or if you are using your performance module,